Welcome to Cody in the Cinema. Today I'm discussing the Criterion Collection's announcements concerning their March releases. There are 6 of them, and they are so good in March. This is my favorite. I'm so excited compared to some of the ones. Like this one, I just kept looking over and over to make sure that these were true because I love every single one of these. I think it's going to be a great choice. And I'm going to go in order of when discussing the ones that I'm least excited to most excited, but I'm excited for all of them. And the first one that I'm the least excited for, I'm only the least excited for because I already have the Blu-ray, and this is Thief. James Caan is getting a 4K here. The 1981 film by Michael Mann, starring James Caan in one of his very best roles, where he's a safecracker who's kind of starting to get out of the business. It's a great working class film. It's in some ways it's kind of a low key political film in that way. Incredible shots of when the safes are cracked, the use of fire. There's a brilliant villain in there that he gets involved with some really disturbing scenes, and it does have some slower parts, but I think all of that works to the film's advantage. If you have never seen Thief, this will be a must-have for you. Okay, I don't think I'll upgrade, but I am glad that somebody who hasn't seen Thief will see it. And the next one, which I didn't expect this to get the 4K, and I believe Sorcerer, popular movie that was kind of a remake of this movie, The Wages of Fear, which I picked up a DVD of a few years back, I think at a thrift store, but it's getting a really nice piece of cover art. And this is the plot synopsis, according to Criterion. It's this South American oil town, and these 4 desperate men are kind of on this suicide mission, and they're driving trucks loaded with nitroglycerin over this treacherous mountain town. And gosh, the cover art on it's great, and it's such an inspirational piece of cinema, such an important piece of film history. And I think that's the kind of thing that I like to see from them every now and again. And I might upgrade, since this is just a DVD of Wages of Fear. And that's probably why I haven't actually watched it, is that I've been like, well, do I want to see it the first time in DVD quality? Sure. I don't know. But I'm excited for it, okay? Now, the next few are ones, the next 4, I'm definitely getting a copy of. So I don't always get 4 out of 6, but I'm definitely getting a copy of the next 4. So I have been a fan of Keith Carradine since the days that I was watching Dexter. If you're unfamiliar with Dexter, it's the really popular TV show where the dude's like a righteous serial killer, and he takes out people that, the justice system couldn't deal with. And the older FBI agent who is in 2 of the best seasons was played by Keith Carradine, and he was great in that role. Moreover, Keith Carradine was amazing, amazing as Wild Bill Hickok in Deadwood, the TV series from HBO, which was one of my favorite TV shows of all time. He just nailed that role in and out. And he's also in McCabe and Mrs. Miller in a small role, and he's excellent there. So that is probably why I already had Choose Me, 1984 film, on my watch list, and I will be picking that up. So the synopsis, I've never seen this movie, so if you have and you want to tell me, is it a good idea to pick it up, you can let me know in the comments. But apparently there's some night owls, like a nightclub owner, a counselor, and this stranger, and they have some interactions that involve anxieties about love and acceptance. That sounds like my kind of thing. I always like a good night owl in a movie, so I think I'll enjoy that based on how much I like that actor. So I'm really excited for that. I think it has really good cover art. Of all of these, the one that I think probably has the most preservation value and academic value is this A Woman of Paris. This was a 1923 film directed by Charlie Chaplin that I assume is a silent film. And it involves an artist's fiance and a mistress of a wealthy person. And there's a glamorous life in Paris, something like that. if you've seen a woman of Paris, let me know. I mean, I think like the notes that I've got these notes from the Criterion website. This is a new 4K digital restoration of the 76 re-release version. So I don't know like how much of an this sounds like it's a pretty big upgrade, but it's not. I don't think there's actually a 4K restoration. It's just a Blu-ray and DVD available. But something directed by Charlie Chaplin like this, I've been waiting for something like this to come back in the collection. Something that doesn't feel like everybody will buy it. Some people just don't buy silent films in the collection. And I think that's kind of sad. But I'm glad to see that Charlie Chaplin, something he directed in the early 20s, is going to be in the collection. Anything from the 20s, the early 20s, that is a really hard time period to watch film from. Like once you get to the later part of the 20s, it's easier to find films, but that early part, like it's tough. It's as tough as finding stuff from the 1910s. So glad to have that in the collection. And then in the whole other direction, the thing that I'm the second most excited about, which has an incredible cover art, is a movie that the movie's uneven and it's not the best whole movie. There are issues with it, but Godzilla vs. Biollante has one of the best Godzilla monsters ever put to screen, and one of the best fights in the series history. And if you haven't ever seen it or heard of it, Biollante is like a mutant plant that has a relationship to Godzilla in a way, and the special effects, the use of like spies and psychics, and like it is very much a fun action Godzilla movie. Except I will admit to you, when I do rewatch this, I probably will skip a few parts that are kind of like I don't think are the best. But that lasts like 15 minutes or so. And then another one of the fights with Biollante, like those are really good action set pieces. And as far as like owning a boutique Blu-ray that looks cool, I mean, a Criterion releasing one of those Godzillas is like, they're going to sell a ton of that movie. Like that just upped the value of their brand, They were looking at like Second Sight and Eureka and all this stuff and Severin, and they're like, yeah, here's my Godzilla versus Biollante. Beat it, eat it, right? So, what a thing for them to release. And finally, the one that I suspect out of the ones I'm going to purchase that I think I'll probably watch 2 or 3 more times at least, I really like Night Moves, directed by Arthur Penn and starring Gene Hackman. I think this is a little bit in the terms of like one of his really underrated movies. And he is this is a 1975 movie where he's a private investigator and he ends up tracking someone down or trying to track someone down in the Florida Keys. And he's kind of going through some difficult things with his relationship, and the shots in the Keys are like really relaxing, but they're kind of tense. And it's just a great performance from Gene Hackman that I think in some ways kind of rivals what he did in Unforgiven and some of his other obvious great movies like The Conversation. And I love it. The movies that are set in Florida that are pretty, they really, I don't know, I just really like them. And I love the name of it. I love the cover because once you see the movie, the cover has like even more meaning to it. So I'm excited for all 6 of these. And I believe this is one of their best months they've had for me personally. I am looking forward to the James Stewart Western that's coming out before that. But for the most part, like this is one of my favorite months from them. The only thing that would have made it better is to throw in a Western on here that I liked. So those are my thoughts. I'm really excited for these. Do you have any thoughts on these you want to share? If you do, feel free to leave a comment. I love when you leave comments. I comment back, like buttons grow YouTube channels, right? So feel free to do that. Click the subscribe button if you haven't, and we will see you next time on Cody in the Cinema.